Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Generations, the games that some would call the best 3D Sonic games of all time. Today we're going to look into why these games were some of the best in the series, and why these games are so iconic to so many people. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel, because YouTube says 98% of you who watch my videos are not subscribed, which feels like a crime to say. Yeah, if you want to support me, subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, let's hop straight into the video. Let's get straight into why Sonic Unleashed was such a great Sonic game. If you're a Sonic fan, you have definitely seen the Sonic Unleashed opening cutscene. And if you haven't, are you really a Sonic fan? Go watch it right now, you heathen. But anyways, Sonic Unleashed does a really good job at getting your attention literally 5 seconds into the game. If I've never played a Sonic game before, I would know what Sonic stands for and his character overall just off of this cutscene without him speaking yet. They really bonked the nail on the head. So a very good opening cutscene is an essential in a video game, especially if it's an offline video game with a single player experience. And as soon as you finish that cutscene, you are hopping right into the first stage, feeling like you're running at the speed of sound in these games. Sonic Unleashed did an amazing job when it comes to making you feel like you're the fastest thing alive. The stages are quick, reaction time based, with long straightaways sometimes. In some straightaways, you actually just get to enjoy Sonic's speed, and you also feel really cool in doing so. And at the same time, you're pretty much indestructible, so I would say that's another plus. They're simply making Sonic feel like Sonic the Hedgehog, with his trademark being the fastest thing alive, and it's just a general overall really good experience. Now, it's really hard to make a video game a good game with a terrible story mode. Sonic Unleashed had a pretty good story in my opinion, with the cutscenes not dragging too much, a bunch of new characters here and there, and some humor in between them. And the cutscenes themselves were actually good. It wasn't like Sonic 06 where you had an opening CGI cutscene and the rest of it was just
Chaos Control! You!
Yeah, 06's cutscenes definitely caught me off guard. Hashtag 06 remake. The bosses in both night and day stages were also pretty good. Some were a little easier to cheese, like the Egg Beetle, but for the most part, they were pretty fun. They didn't take too much of your time, and it felt like you were going against an actual threat, not like whatever this is. Like, come on, Sonic Team, how do we go from that to this? Like, are we serious? Actually, all jokes aside, I think Sonic Lost World was a good game. Yeah, I don't care. Blast me in the comments. Although a lot of people were not the biggest fan of the nighttime stages, you gotta give it to Sega and Sonic Team, they got pretty creative. By removing Sonic's trademark speed entirely and giving him the Elastigirl cosplay? Alright Sega, you do you. This was a very bold move for Sonic Team, and I think it was a success. Because the gameplay may not be that popular, but the character is. That being Sonic the Werehog. And he's still making his own appearance in other games, like Sonic Forces Speed Battle, and the most recent entry, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. So the Werehog's definitely a fan favorite. Is the Werehog also in a few comics? Can someone let me know down in the comments? But like I said, the Werehog didn't necessarily sell Sonic Unleashed, but it played a big part, and is still loved and known by players worldwide. Another thing that is known by players worldwide is the soundtrack. The soundtrack was so good for this game. It really made you feel like you were in another part of the world. I would easily be able to tell what country Sonic was in just based off the music. Take Arid Sands versus Dragon Road, for example. You can easily tell that these are two different cultures, and Sonic Team captivates on it so well. And now that I'm thinking about it, Sonic Unleashed might have some of the best music in the franchise. Also, for some reason, it's used in every Sonic-related video. This one included. Because the soundtrack is simply that good. Can you blame us? I can go on and on and on about how Sonic Unleashed is one of the greatest Sonic games of all time. But there's another one that a lot of people prefer over Sonic Unleashed. In 2011, Sonic Generations was born. Sonic Generations was similar to Unleashed in a way, while keeping the iconic cinematic boost formula, but on the other hand, keeping the classic 2D Sonic formula for the other playstyle. And today we call them Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic. Sonic Generations revolved around Sonic playing the iconic stages from his past in both 3D and 2D. This was actually a pretty brilliant concept. It sparked a lot of curiosity in players' minds about what this stage could look like in 3D, and what the classic Sonic could look like in upscale 2D. Sega stuck with the boost formula for modern Sonic for a reason, because like I said earlier, it captivates the trademark speed that Sonic is supposed to and you think it's supposed to have. In my opinion, they also captured the 2D Sonic pretty well. It kind of looked like they slowly regressed though with the 2D Sonic controls, because Generations was much better compared to this monstrosity. Well, what the heck, what is this? Sonic Gens also did have pretty good boss fights, which all also originate from Sonic's past. Fighting villains like Death Egg Robot, Perfect Chaos, Metal Sonic, even Shadow and Silver, acting almost as like mini bosses to acquire Chaos Emeralds. It was a pretty cool way to progress through the game. They did kinda have a tedious way of collecting the keys to the boss gates though, by completing these little minigame challenges, and completing one next to the key that you're supposed to get rewards you with it. There were some pretty fun ones though, like the Doppelganger race, and ones where you had to use a certain character from the game like Tails or Blaze or Vector, and completing those will earn you some music to play during the stages you play. There's also skills in this game that can change the way you play and is basically just a stat booster. Like for instance, an infinite boost gauge, or faster wall jump speed. The list goes on, but you understand what I'm saying. There's also a ton of replayability when it comes to that. Supersonic is also unlockable in Gens. It comes as a skill after beating the game, but it's not that fun because it's completely automatic and depletes your rings a ton while boosting. But hey, it's Supersonic. What can you do? I also think it's pretty cool that Sonic Gens incorporates a lot of the other side characters like Blaze, Espio, Vector, Rouge, and Charmy. Also, can we point out that Charmy is the face of Planet Wisp in that game, and that is like the most hated stage in that game? Jeez, Charmy, you suck, dude. Any chance I have an opportunity to bash Charmy, I'm going to bash Charmy. But overall, the stages were pretty cool and fun, especially the modern stages. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite Sonic game is, and what your favorite day stage from Unleashed is, and what your favorite modern stages from Generations is. For me, in Unleashed, it's Windmill Isle, and in Generations, it's Crisis City. These games will be my pride and joy of the Sonic franchise, until they make something better, which they haven't done yet. At least in my opinion. But I would absolutely love to see another Boost-inspired game like Generations or Unleashed, but all we can hope to see is that Sonic Team considers that in the future. If you enjoyed the video and stuck till the end, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It's completely free and you'll be doing yourself a favor. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!